Hi everyone. Our word these last 2 weeks has been about exploration. And normally when I think of that word, I think about taking a trip somewhere, going somewhere fun or exciting, taking out my bucket list and looking at all the places I want to see and the things I want to do and explore. And instead, what the word meant for me was an exploration into myself. And to explain, let me say that we all hit walls in our life. There is no person out there that is unscathed by stuff coming up. And sometimes it's stuff you're like, I've dealt with that. I've dealt with that. I did the work. I should be free and clear of this. But there are always layers. And if this journey in life is about loving and learning, then everything that comes up isn't to show where you've fallen short or where you've failed or where you are off the mark, but to simply provide an opportunity to learn and to love. For when you're in the middle of it, it's a blank storm. You don't know if you're ever going to feel like you again. You sort of feel out of your body. You're trying to make sense of things. The anxiety rises. You're trying to keep your feelings under control. And all that indicates is that you're stuck. And sometimes you need help getting unstuck. And so when I hit this wall, I always believe that answers will come. And maybe they don't come in the most traditional ways. I'm actually working with a coach right now. And when I hit this wall, I was unable to meet my deadlines. It's a writing coach. I'm actually writing a book. It's been on my bucket list to write a book. And I missed my deadline because I couldn't write. I was so upset in my soul and I was so anxiety ridden. And it really had nothing to do with the book. It's just that when you're upset, it squelches all your creativity and your inspiration. So my writing coach certainly is not a therapist. But when I was telling him how stuck I was, he said, I work with this really woman who is able to really direct conversations and get to the root of what's going on.
And I said, sign me up. Because I knew that using all the tools I know how to get unstuck weren't working. And so I followed up because I believed that the universe brought me that recommendation. And so I signed up for a session with this woman. And within 2 hours, I got completely unstuck and got completely new clarity on what was blocking me, on why I've done certain things my entire life, and understanding the why helps you get free. Everybody, to whatever degree, has to unpack trauma. Sometimes it's nobody's fault. It just is. And that trauma creates paradigms and patterns and a story in our life and ways of responding to challenges or threats that are out of balance. And so for me, exploring the me from way back in the day and my very beginnings with a skilled therapist helped me to get unstuck. And clarity always feels so good. So if you have been hitting a wall, if you feel stuck, there's no harm or shame in reaching out for skilled help. And exploring sometimes leads to freedom. I hope that you enjoyed whatever you explored these last 2 weeks. I know I sure did. I think my life is pretty much going to be a little bit different from now on as a result. A lot happier. I'll hope to share it all with you sometime. In the meantime, moving on from exploration, I am asking for a word for all of us. What do we need these next 2 weeks? And the answer is acceptance.
accepting the things I cannot change, and the wisdom, our word from a few weeks ago, to know the difference. You know, there's a powerful component to acceptance. When you come to people without expectations, but rather acceptance, the energy shifts. Sometimes they're unspoken expectations, but you're hoping for something from them. You're looking for a certain response, and if you don't get it, man, it can just trip you up. But accepting people for who they are and where they're at, and even their limitations. You know, maybe they're not going to be that storybook relationship that you had hoped for. Accepting people for who they are and where they're at. Let's take it one step further. Accepting yourself for who you are and where you're at. None of this, I'm 56 years old, I should be blah, blah, blah by now. Well, you are where you are. I am where I am. And it's perfect because we're learning and we're loving. There is no expectation of what a 56-year-old Brenda Viola should look like, or act like, or possess. Only self-imposed. And other people's expectations? Well, I think the older we get, the more we learn that you don't live to please other people. That's an exercise in frustration. So accept who you are, embracing your flawed awesomeness, your flawsomeness. Embrace it. You are where you are. When you know better, you do better. And until then, accept yourself. Accept the conditions right now, the present moment, exactly as it is. And be at peace with it. And you'll find that in doing so, the energy shifts in all of your interactions. Acceptance is a great word. I look forward to digging into it with all of you the next few weeks. Have a great week, everyone.